So Jack Collinsworth with Allen Robinson, star wide receiver for the Chicago Bears. And you had your breakout season in 2015 with the Jags. Been one of the best receivers in football ever since. I know my answer to this question, but do you feel like you get the respect you deserve around the league?
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. At the same time, I try not to feed too much into that, because again, everybody's opinion is just kind of like their opinion, but I do find myself getting a lot of respect from, players across the league, coaches across the league, and even some former players and some pretty reliable resources, So again, everybody has their own opinion, so you can't dive too much into it or look too much into it because again, it's just an opinion.
And you had your two biggest games of the year, Foles' first couple of starts. What do you think allowed you two to click so quickly?
Yeah, Foles one of those guys who is he's always locked in, always have been since day one. As far as on the details, on different things that he wants, different things that he sees, so he makes sure that everybody is on the same page. If it's something that the line have a preference over, then he wants to go that way. If it's something that the receivers have a preference of, then he wants to do that. So he definitely tries to go out his way to make sure that everybody's on the same page and doing things that they feel comfortable with.
How have you had to sort of go about building a timing and a chemistry with both Foles and Trubisky simultaneously? And how hard is that?
Yeah, I try not to wrap my mind around how difficult it can or can't be, because I just try to look at myself as a professional. But again, you do have to. It does take time, and it does take different reps and things like that. I tell people all the time that I'm a professional receiver, so my job is to make it work regardless of the fact, But I try to look at it as such, But there can be some different, schematical things that those guys have their own preference over, and you kind of have to adjust to that, and be ready to adapt to whatever that may be.
I was just thinking about your 7-year career. How many starting quarterbacks have you played with? Do you have any idea?
I'm not sure. To be honest.
It seems like it's been a bunch, doesn't it?
Yeah, man. And even for me, the bigger thing and probably greater number is even, offensive coordinators. I tell people that all the time, it's only been once in my career that I've ever had the same quarterback and coordinator for more than really 2 seasons. You know what I'm saying? Right around 2 seasons and some change. I don't even think it's been that much. I think it's just been right at 2, So for me, it's been a lot of, adjusting to different schemes, adjusting to different philosophies, adjusting to different terminology and personnel, when it comes to different things. But again, like I said before, for me, I'm one of those guys who tries to embrace all of that.
And with this specific team, it was a hot start, winning 5 of the first 6. Records fallen off a little bit since then. What's missing now that was there to start the year?
Yeah, I think to start the year for us, it was just going out there having fun. We were able to get the ball rolling, and again, whenever you're winning, it's fun. When you losing, sometimes unfortunately you can kind of get into a little bit of a rut, and then guys start pressing a little bit. Everybody's trying to figure out what the solution is, and they're trying to fix it yesterday. So you really kind of get into that mode of everybody's really trying to fix what's going on rather than just going out there playing, executing, having fun. Again, you kind of sometimes you get guys to look at the glass half empty rather than half full. But again, I try to tell everybody this as far as just treating all imposters the same. Adversity and prosperity, because that's what it is in this league. You're gonna have your ups, you're gonna have your downs, but you can't get too down and you can't get too high on those.
Mm-hmm. And coming off the bye week, this week you guys are. Did this bye come at the perfect time or the worst time?
I think it came at the perfect time. Even against Minnesota, we had a couple guys dinged up. I remember looking at the injury report a couple weeks ago, and we had a lot of our key guys just on there, for whatever the reason may be, even though guys are playing, So being able to have that bye week now to kind of get healed up a little bit before we go into this pretty big stretch for us is always huge. Again, we've had early bye weeks over the past couple of years, but having a later one this year, I think was at the perfect time.
How much added pressure is there on the offense to score points in these Aaron Rodgers matchups in particular?
It's definitely a lot, But again, as it should be, as an offense, that's what you play for. You want to get into those shootout games. Those are the games that are fun. Granted, you always want your defense to go out there and ball out. But as an offense, you can never be afraid to get into a shootout with anybody. That's what you want. As a receiver, that's what I want. You want to get your 35-point games and 400-yard games as far as total offense, 500-yard games total offense. Those are the games you want. I even look at like the Chiefs Oakland game, how exciting that game was to watch. And I can only imagine a part as far as playing in it. Same with like the Rams game the other night. You know, you saw their receivers and quarterback, you know, having to score and having to beat Brady. You know, that's what it calls for in this league. You know, again, when your number is called as an offense, you know, you got to put up some points.
And you're around this offense every single day of your life. Is this an offense that's capable of winning in a shootout against the Green Bay Packers?
I honestly think so. You know, again, I mean, when I look at some of the talent that we have, you know, some of the plays that guys have made, you know, it's like we have that ability. You know, even again, I remember back to week 1, Anthony Miller had an amazing catch on the sideline, a one-hand grab on 3rd down, then followed it up with a walk-off touchdown for in the corner of the end zone. Same with against Atlanta. You know, we have the capability to do that, to have those 4 touchdowns in a quarter kind of games, because we've done that. You know, we've done that this year. So we definitely do have it. We just have to execute it. You know, unfortunately, we haven't been executing it on a consistent basis for 4 quarters, but we definitely had a capability to do that.
And you get this specific matchup twice a year, every single year. What is unique about Green Bay, Lambeau Field, their defensive backs, everything about this matchup in particular?
Man, it's such an exciting rivalry. You know, again, I mean, dating back to, you know, these kind of being some of the original teams of the NFL. You know, again, you know what that matchup means, you know, when you think of Green Bay and when you think of Chicago, you know. So, again, being able to be a part of that, you know, I felt that from the time I stepped foot in the building in Chicago. You know, when I signed here, you feel that that's the most important game of the year, no matter what the records are, no matter anything. You know, I mean, that was the first game I ever played in as a Chicago Bear was against Green Bay, and I felt it, you know. So, again, these are definitely big and meaningful games, you know, bigger than just the records in the division.
Alan, we really appreciate the time, man. Best of luck this Sunday night.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.